So, after vanishing from YouTube for 6 months with no word as to why, coupled with a sudden recent upload, I'll bet at least some of you are wondering where I went. So I thought I'd delve into that and kind of explain myself along with the future for this channel. And if you're a first time visitor of my channel, I would suggest picking a different video or else this might not make a whole lot of sense to you. Like most people on this platform, I do have a life outside of YouTube, or at least I try to. Keeping that in mind, however, I often find myself taking on a lot more than I can handle. And that's mainly because I believe that I actually can. This honestly ends up leading to a lot of things not getting done. And then I just kind of end up getting overwhelmed. I think part of the reason why that this comes from the stress of having all these different tasks to work on all at once. And another part comes from the excitement of the vision that I have for the product of each task upon completion. That, along with working full-time and now going back to school again, just kind of leaves me worn out. Sometimes to the point where I just can't work on anything, no matter what it may be. I want to be able to keep a social life. I want to be able to keep bringing in that helpful cash flow. I want to complete my schooling and get that stupidly expensive little piece of paper that says I can do things. And I want to be able to advance my potential career and build upon as many skills as I can. And if I didn't have to sleep, I probably wouldn't. Another thing I'd like to tack on is the fact that I don't really have much time to record audio anymore. If you watched my most recent upload, you'll know that I got a job working the night shift. And yes, I am still doing that. Something you might not know is that in person, I'm actually quite awkward and self-conscious about pretty much everything I do, especially around my family. I don't even like recording when anyone is home, whether they're awake or not. Because of that, I never really did any work on videos for the past few months. I never had any time completely by myself because I was either working or sleeping or avoiding familial contact. Right now, as my schedule stands, the only recording time I really have to myself would be for just a couple hours once every week, which isn't ideal, but it works. Of course, this goes without saying, but I've been procrastinating the hell out of creating new content and posting it to this channel. For fuck's sake, I have a collection of short videos building up that I just haven't posted on my portfolio channel yet either, simply because I just couldn't be bothered to. I've got footage from about 6 or 7 different shows I could string together into a compilation, and while it would wreak complete havoc on my poor laptop, it'd still be something to present. But I just couldn't be bothered to send all the individual clips to the damn thing and put it together. Since I relaunched my channel in the beginning of 2017, my uploads have become more and more scarce, going from just once per week to once every couple weeks to once a month, and then it just kind of took a cliff dive after that. I thought that sticking to a schedule would help motivate me to keep providing my audience with new content on a consistent basis, when in actuality it kind of ended up doing the opposite. Writing scripts, recording, and editing audio and video, it all started to feel less like a hobby and more like a chore that just needed to be done. And because of that, I just continued to put it off, sometimes for weeks or even months at a time. And at the same time, I was beginning to feel like my content was becoming a bit stale. Almost every video would pretty much be the same as the previous, responding to yet another terrible video, some of which were popular to do, others which hadn't really been heard of before. Either way, it was something that just sort of started to become boring, both for me and I'm sure for at least some of you guys as well. We all have our own issues, and I don't want to drag on about this too much, but I still feel like it's worth mentioning. Depression and anxiety are things that I've been dealing with for many years now, and while it's not an excuse to slack off and not complete any work, it can still definitely be considered a factor as to why someone might not perform to the best of their abilities. and these two things are only exacerbated with the addition of seasonal affective disorder. If you're not quite sure what that is, allow me to give you the basic gist. So during the winter months, it can be a common occurrence to feel exceptionally emotionally low. And this could be correlated to the lack of sunlight an individual may or may not be receiving. And as we all know, contact with the sunlight provides us with vitamin D. And when you have less contact with the sunlight, your vitamin D levels will likely drop. However, of course, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on any of this information, as I'm not a medical professional. And I think these symptoms can be even more observable in people who do work the third shift, simply because, well, generally speaking, there is little to no sunlight to be had between the hours of 10 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning, or at least majority of the time. And this whole not doing anything thing doesn't just apply to YouTube. There are multiple strings of days where I just don't do anything, simply because I just can't seem to push myself to go and do it. So what does the future of this channel hold? Well, to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure. I certainly won't be shutting it down, and I doubt I'll stop content creation completely, because despite what it might sound like right now, I genuinely do enjoy producing video content for you guys, and it makes me happy to see that you guys are enjoying it. It makes me feel sort of accomplished in a way. As of right now, I do have more content planned for the future. I have a ton of background footage all ready to go, just kind of waiting around to be used, and hopefully I'll get around to actually using it at some point in time. However, I've decided to cease trying to keep with a regular upload schedule, or at least just for now. I don't have the time available to make a consistent video uploads every week, or even every month, especially with all the work, school, and other personal and paid projects I have going on right now. With that being said, I still intend to make videos and share them, but they're gonna be on my time, which means they'll come when I can make them. YouTube is not my job. I'm not making any revenue from making and posting videos, especially not since the adpocalypse, which means this can't take a very high spot on my priority list at the time. But who knows, that could change at any point. The algorithms are always changing, and so are viewer preferences. For all I know, this channel could suddenly explode within the next year, to the point where it will need to become a higher priority. And if that does happen, my work time allocation will have to reflect that. In the meantime, I hope that this video has cleared some things up for you. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and share it with your friends. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any new videos. If you have any art for me, be sure to send it over on Twitter. That's one of the best places you can contact me. For now, have a good day or night. Time zones are weird, and I'll see you in the next video.